Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. Good news today. We'll get to that in just a moment. These rates were live yesterday at the close of business. If you'll notice here, there's no discount fee connected to these rates, such as they were yesterday. Still rolling around the middle sixes with no discount. Middle to upper fives on the government stuff, FHA, VA, USDA. So we had that one incredible day a couple weeks back when Japan kind of stumbled there. Didn't get all that back. Rates went down about a half, went up about a quarter. And so that's what it's going to be like. Like I said last time, we're in a place where we're like two steps forward and one step back instead of one step forward and two steps back. So overall, improvements are consistent. If you do want to buy the rate down, this one I've just got 1% discount. That's 1% of the loan amount added to closing costs. That's going to get you almost to 6% if you have real good credit on the 30-year fixed, middle fives on FHA and VA. USDA is always a little bit stickier than FHA and VA, not quite as much movement. And of course, you can buy it down further, but I don't want to go crazy with that right now. I just want to give you an idea as to where we're going and why we're going there. So we have here this morning, Tuesday morning, the producer price index, which is one of the big three inflation gauges that the Fed watches. That's a measure of what it costs for companies to bring goods and services to market. It came in lower than expected. 0.1% increase for last month of July. And when you think about these things, the Fed wants year over year inflation in these gauges to be 2%. So if every month were like July, that'd be 0.1% times 12 would be at 1.2% for the year, very much below the Fed's 2% guideline. But because we look back over some bumpy months, it's a higher number now, about 2.3%. But tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow is the consumer price index. If that comes in below expectations of zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2, that's going to lock us in pretty much to a September Fed rate cut. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I got my fingers crossed. Later this month, August 25th, he does this every year. Jerome Powell and a bunch of Fed heads go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, sit around the campfire and tell stories and talk about what they think is happening. And that shouldn't really disrupt the market. These inflation numbers are kind of overriding everything right now. September, end of September meeting, there should be a 0.25 to 0.5% Fed rate cut, but that could already be priced in. We've seen rates do this. The Fed hasn't moved rates since last July, a year ago, but the market anticipates these things and prices them in. Could they still reduce rates and mortgage rates follow them completely as much as they reduce them in lockstep? Sure, maybe. But we could already be seeing some of that. So that's kind of how it works there. Uh, I need to pound this. I need to talk about this because it's kind of a big deal. When we're able to completely underwrite a TBD borrower before they find a property and provide an underwriter's commitment letter, we'll also tack onto that the $30,000 on time closing guarantee. If we miss closing by one day and it's our fault, Prosperity will pay the seller $15,000 and the listing brokerage $15,000. So what you'll get the pre-approval like that from me, like you always do, same day within minutes of getting the application. 1 to 2 days later, I'm going to send you the underwriter's signed commitment letter along with the $30,000 closing guarantee. And then the refinance deal where we don't have any lender fees if they refi within 3 years. So it's kind of a big deal. I'm going to be approaching you to sign something to prove that we've had this conversation. I won't be painful. Don't worry about it. What's next here? I did this for you. If you want to build, go back up here. You want to build value in your buyer presentations. You want to show them why you deserve your 2.5% when Redfin's out here charging whatever they charge, when big box lenders have big box brokerages that charge less. You need to build value. And among building value is this right here that I'm talking about. So I wrote this for you. You can add this to your buyer presentation. 30 seconds or less. Point one, my lender will completely underwrite your file before we find a house. Point two, we'll be able to present our offer along with the $30,000 closing guarantee, along with you being completely underwritten. Number three is a definition of underwriting. Underwriting typically happens after you go into contract, sometimes not until the appraisal comes in. A certified underwriter checks the documentation and checks verifications of employment, income, and credit history to certify the approval. A lot of lenders do that way deep in the process. I like to do it before they even find a house because point four, underwriting gives you peace of mind. You'll be done with all the lending headaches so you can focus on the fun part, and the lending process won't infect the buyer's memory of their time with you during the contract period. It speeds up the process, point five, so you can do an on or before offer, closing in 2 to 3 weeks instead of taking 30 days and having a white knuckle ride through the end of it. I got one done in 7 days a while back. I tend to get them done in 14. I'm always asking, can we close early? I'm ready. Can we close early? We don't have to, but we can. How many more deals could you do if they all closed in 2 weeks and you had no lender issues, no buyer-based sale fails? Uh, Point six and seven, I'm always available. You know I am. And there's my number right there. So you could literally memorize this, plug it into your package, and build value as a great buyer's agent. Like I said, yeah. Have a great day.